Yes, you heard his voice. That's Mr. Omeri, who is a DG, National Orientation Agency. And then he's also coordinating the Nigerian National Information Center. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start off with security because that's one of the latest places they see you hold that briefing on a regular basis. What's the situation now? Because, I mean, yes, we do know the reasons, what INEC did say, why the elections were rescheduled, security. And we've also seen some recent activity going on over there. In the midst of that, there were some warnings that you had given, how people should be careful because you could have some suicide bombings happening here and there. What's going on now about the entire thing?
Well, what is happening is the increased collaboration and vigilance from the security operatives. As to the reasons adduced for the postponement of elections because of the need to involve or achieve some modicum of security around the general area where we have these troubles. A lot is being done. Successes are being recorded as is being reported. And most of the times people say why military may not be involved, we don't need the military, you don't need security. There are various levels of involvement. For instance, Nigerian Air Force planes have been known to move election materials. That's military involvement. So if they said during this period we'll be too engaged, we have acquired new facilities, we need to concentrate for a few days and adjust within constitutional means, within provisions of the Constitution and guided by the electoral guidelines so that we try to achieve some form of semblance, not just semblance, some form of peace and stability to enable you to conduct this exercise. I think it is it's something that should be, given. We have passed that, and I'm happy that from information coming from the Northeast, it is evident that successes have been recorded, that the request is not, after all, in vain or a ploy as it was being canvassed earlier on. So, of course, yes, we have given a number of advisories, not warnings, advisories, because of the impact of the military activities or military action in the area of crisis. At the point when the intelligence noticed the movement of or dispersal of the insurgents and terrorists in different directions, they also knew that it was going to come with a consequence, like out of anger or they could attack communities on their way as they retreat. I don't know if you have been to that part of Maiduguri. If you see, some communities are really far-flung from the rest. They are isolated in the desert on their own. So on the way, you can just vent your anger or do other things. Aside from that, those who run in country will resort to perhaps the use of other means to attack soft targets, and that was why we saw increasing number of them strapping their bodies with explosives to detonate the motor parks and such places. All these advisories that we have given or issued from the center is to encourage Nigerians as partners in the security process to be vigilant, to report and to cooperate with security services or forces should they be encountered in the course of normal routine daily activities, because we need the collaboration and cooperation of everyone.
Are we likely to see, because when that information was put out there about this joint coordination between Nigeria and allied forces moving into Sambisa forest, of course, many also thought, okay, who knows the kind of information that will pop up there, but there were those who were still expecting, in fact, the entire country, I reckon, about the missing girls. Any word on that yet? Or any plans going on about rescuing them?
Of course, the entire exercise is about missing persons and those girls inclusive, especially those who were abducted or forced into that nature of captivity. So operations are still ongoing, and like from the center, we've always insisted that we give information that will not run counter to the expectations and operations. So what we will still do, even now, is to urge Nigerians to please be patient. A lot of work is going on there, and whatever is, the outcome will be made known to Nigerians. And I'm looking forward, really, to even visiting the place with you as the exercise is ongoing, so we see for ourselves and report to Nigerians what is happening from the theater of operation.
About Shekau, previously there were reports that he had been killed. And today we see in one of the front pages where the Chadian president is saying he knows where he is hiding. Lots of people are confused. What is the real situation with
Well, as at that time, the military came with the explanation of what they thought happened. Well, they are the ones involved in the theater of operations. And you know, we've had the experience of an Abukaka, I had explained this earlier, who was the chief spokesman of the group. He had mutated several times, and you know, one was taken, another fellow came and said he was still Abukaka. From the voicing, the pictures, and narrative that was coming, it was easy to discern that they were just replacing, you know, the spokespersons, and adopted just one name to reinforce and make and appear consistent. But soon it was discovered that that strategy was not going to hold, and they withdrew. Then came Abubakar Shekau, who adopted the position of both spokesman and commander-in-chief. He has been talking to Nigerians, responding to issues as it relates to their own side of the act. The military, yes, said they had taken him out. They also were working on the theory that on the replacement theory, you know, of leadership and so forth and so on. So I have no reason to doubt the armed forces of Nigeria. They are the ones in the theater of operations. If tomorrow they said, oh, it was a mistake, we thought we had taken him out, it was a lookalike or whatever it is that they say, I will still believe them, because I don't have any other armed forces. They are the only ones that I know.
But as a nation, now we have other nations joining in this fight, especially Chad and others. If the Chadian president is talking, because this is not the first time he has spoken on this, before they came with their military to join in this fight, he had spoken about, well, that agreement to a ceasefire agreement. Now he's talking that he knows the whereabouts. Is this information with the Nigerian government officially?
Well, it's in the public domain, so I'm sure at the presidential level, at any level, there must be a way of communicating, so they must have communicated. But obviously, I'm operating with what is already on the public domain. I've heard it.
So what's the situation with the displaced persons? Are they returning home?
Internally displaced persons in some communities within Nigeria have begun the process of returning home. You saw when the president visited, people came out in Mubi, in Baga, and so forth. And you saw people coming out. So there are few, but the army had said, please, we will advise you when to move. So we are waiting on those advice. In Mubi, the emir of Mubi came out. He told the president that he is back, and he urged his citizens to come back, his soldiers to come back, and they've started returning. So where peace and stability is established, people have started coming back. Where they still needed to undertake mop-up operations and give necessary security advice, citizens are advised to wait and operate within the advice that will be given by the military and other appropriate authorities.